Here today, going to be taking on the Are They Bluffing or Not challenge from PokerStars' new video. So, let's get right into the reaction. In case you guys don't know, I am a poker pro, and I'm going to be analyzing and taking on this challenge. So, I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get right into it.
Oh man, blind on blind hands are tough.
Oh, I hate those.
I'm rooting for a walk.
Well, blind is
not
really
going to happen. Farrell raises to 17,000.
Yeah.
What do we got?
DeMolder's hand is
Ace 5.
Ace 5.
Hand to call.
Yep, gotta call it this. No need for a 3-bet because we're usually either a little ahead or real far behind.
He loves his TV time, this boy.
He's been on TV since he was like 6.
He calls for an additional 11,000. We go to the flop, which is ace high.
That's top pair for us.
Farrell set to continue.
That is interesting. Whoa. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about. Notice
Farrell set to continue.
Neil's hand was like kind of shaking. And he was
That's
putting his
top
hand
pair
on the
for
side.
us.
See? Yeah, right there. He was like kind of shaking. His hand was kind of shaking, and like I think he notices that maybe.
And we have to be expecting he's going to continue
Can't
his
really
entire
fold top
range
pair
here, which is super wide, small to big. So of course we have to call this.
There's the call. 81,000 in the pot.
There's a flush
Another ace on the
draw
turn. Trips now for DeMolder.
I'm starting to like this more and more. That was a weird little stutter step. Wonder what that means.
Farrell bets again. 35.
That was an interesting. Yeah, that was an interesting stutter.
Okay.
Whatever, doesn't matter. We're not
You can't
folding.
really fold.
It's kind of hard for
And
us
like-
to be beat, but what makes me worried is it's also kind of hard for him to be bluffing.
Oh, it's coughing too.
Excuse me. Must be allergic to betting in the trips.
DeMolder calls a second time. 9 of hearts on the river.
This is not a good card for us.
Not the greatest card because it does bring flushes out there.
I'm really
obviously.
hoping he doesn't bet again.
There are now 3 hearts on the board. The
only
flop
thing
flush
is-
draw got there.
Where's your coughing
You just been
now, Neil?
calling,
Where's
so,
your
like,
coughing now?
You may be under.
He empties the clip. He fires the third barrel. 78,000.
With that heart on the river, I think we gotta fold our hand. Neil could certainly have hearts in his triple barrel range, and pretty much no worse hands would bet here for value.
What do you have?
This is interesting.
You'd have to have pure air for us to call.
Well, here's the thing. You could have hearts. He could have an ace, and if he has an ace, he usually has you out kicked, right? So
Full house? You have a full house? It's a good hand.
you could definitely
Wait a minute.
justify folding, but at the same time, like I don't know. He could be trying to bluff you because like you're kind of underrepping your hand by just calling. There's also the fact that like he may be like just trying to protect with like his own ace or whatever. His own weak ace. I meant like ace deuce, ace 3, stuff like that. Maybe he also has ace 5, ace 6, ace 5, stuff like that. Really. Which is an interesting one. He's probably not bluffing here, but you can.
I don't think
still-
this is a bluff.
I don't know. I guess you fold decent bit of the time.
DeMolder folds.
But usually.
Neil Farrell also had ace 5, the same hand.
Ah, that's terrible.
My balls just dropped under the table.
Wow.
Sure.
Round to Pablo Gordillo in the big blind. He calls as well.
That's kind of the nice thing about just being more aggressive is when you guys have the same hand.
So 3-way to the
It's always
flop.
the more aggressive player wins that one.
Hooker's answer to Al Bundy scoring 4 touchdowns in 1 game. Gordillo winning 3 tournaments in a night.
Well, Benny flops a flush draw.
Or you have
Well, all right.
four bets,
Action check to
flush
Colleen.
draw.
And this is a continuation bet of 36,000.
36K.
Calling will be totally standard here for us.
I want to call here.
He does call. Gordillo
That's
folds. He had 10-7 off.
Phew. Somehow dodged that one.
The turn card is a queen. That's second pair for Benny to go with his draw.
Well, we were probably already not folding to another bet. Now we're already not folding even harder.
That almost made sense. 88,000 from Colleen.
We're gonna have the best
Is
hand
his
here a
hand
lot,
or
but
is
if we
he
call
also
here and
gonna
he
get
bombs the
triple-barreled?
river, I think we might have to fold. Assuming we don't approve, that is.
You have
Hi,
a
Liv.
ton of equity.
I like your
Second
shiny
pair,
shirt.
Flush draw. You got a call here.
Spindler calls the second barrel, and we go to the river. And that's a flush for Benny.
Third
Not as good as
flush.
the ace of
Wow.
spades would have been, but we'll take it.
Is Colleen going to fire a third time? No, he checks.
And when he
Checks.
checks, I don't think he's got a bigger flush very often, which was very much possible until this point.
Standard to
The
bet
yellow
here. You have the
chips
third
are
nut
worth
flush.
25,000. The blues are 5,000.
But that's a really interesting line. What would he be like? Call. What would be like? What would he bet? Check with. Like a 4, maybe. Ace 3. No. What? Wait, no, that's kind of confusing. Maybe he had like a set and he just wasn't comfortable with the flush out there now.
Benny going for
He has a
value.
set.
200,000.
Yeah,
I like a
deuces,
big bet
fours.
here.
Looks like Colleen is calling. Oh, hang on a sec.
Okay, this is troubling. This is
Oh,
like when
yeah,
a cop
I forgot
starts
the
immediately
figures.
writing in his notebook.
Bluffing or
You
nuts.
know you're not getting off with just a warning.
Raise.
He's check raised.
Colleen
Alright, this
pushes
changes
forward
things.
525,000.
525,000. Okay, so 520. Wow. That's so let's pay attention to his sizing real quick. He bet half into, and then now he's done like a 2.5, no, over like a two, yeah, around 2.5 raise to your bet. So that must indicate that he, according to those bet sizes, I think I'm more inclined to think he has a flush. He was just double semi bluffing. Yeah, that could definitely be it. That what would he be I think he has the aces. Yeah, I think he has the nut flush actually.
Even though it's against us, I love this play. This makes total sense if he's got the nuts, because expecting to bet and then get raised would be silly.
Yeah, exactly.
This is also a great move with just the ace of spades in his hand.
Really good
I
move.
actually think, though, that if you were making a play with ace of spades, Kevin probably bets bigger here. That's my gut.
I think you might have to just put him on the nut flush. But at the same time, it's really hard to. It's really hard to fold the third flush.
Come on.
But I think
Benny's
that's gonna be
calling.
ace of spades flush.
And Colleen tables the
yeah,
nuts.
he did.
Such a gross spot. Really hard to blame Benny for calling there.
But you can't really.
Hey, remember
it's
when
really
Benny's-
hard to fold that though, you know, because that's the third nuts there.
Spindler
tough.
used to be the
That's a
crazy
really
one.
That's a tough one.
Esfandiari facing a raise from Vivek Rajkumar.
Oh, yeah, this too. We're almost always going to 3-bet jacks. We don't want to take this flop as many ways as Dan Shack has kids.
You should re-raise usually with jacks. There you go.
56.
Vivek calls.
And we can already start
Just
to narrow
calls.
Vivek's range by him making this call. Worst he's going to have at this point is suited connectors. Best to say 2 10s. Maybe he'd do this with queens. Probably not, though.
All clubs on the flop. Ace deuce tray.
Check to
Checks
the
back.
razor. That's us.
Checking back.
Check here is good for us, too.
yeah.
We can't get value out of worse hands, and we've got good equity against
You can't
almost
value bet,
everything.
like,
Another
worse
ace on the
hands
turn.
first.
Vivek's often going to bet this turn whether he has an ace or not.
You're in a very good spot here.
He
for
does
this
bet
one,
75,000.
You should
Ace
definitely
hitting
just
makes it
call here.
less likely he has one. His propensity to bluff at this and our flush and boat draws maybe pretty much have to call, even though this is a big bet.
Antonio does call. There's now 284,000 in the middle. King of clubs on the river. Esfandiari now has a flush.
Oh, hi. Sweet card for us. If Vivek bets, we're going to call most bets. We have the second up flush, so we can be beating even some value bets.
Looks like Vivek will bet. Green chips are 25,000. The blues are 5,000, so that's 105,000.
105?
This is a bet we can certainly call.
I don't think you just call here, right? Like, what? Like, there's no way he could definitely be doing this with a weaker club. Like, I think the sizing would be much higher if he had a full house. He should just call here. Like, there's no way he has like something.
Looks like Antonio will call.
There's no way.
8 of clubs.
Jack
Oh,
of
yeah,
clubs.
Okay.
Ooh, and he did have an
Yeah, like
ace.
you
Little
could, like-
blocker
like
bet
the
there.
like the way you play that hand, you underrep your hand, so where your opponent's like, I think I could maybe get thin value off like the 10 of clubs, 9 of clubs, or something. I'm gonna bet out a little, and like so you bet out a little bit. Uh, so
From
yeah,
Vivek may have saved him some chips, or cost him some,
there you
depending
go.
on how thin we were value betting.
That was
Hadn't
an
quite figured that out yet.
extremely standard hand, to
What'd
be
you have, Vic?
honest. That's just
8 of clubs.
What was the other card? I mean, I could have asked to seen it. You're supposed to show first.
Yeah, man, that's not really cool. Steve O'Dwyer with the Macau Cacao.
We're going to sweat with Steve on this hand and play it from Mr. O'Dwyer's point of view. It's his small blind. Deuce 4.
deuce four.
Yeah, let's see a flop with these.
He calls. No raise from Roger. He checks his option.
Checks his option. Okay.
We're probably behind.
That being said, you definitely.
Well, Steve
okay.
flops bottom
the-
pair.
not the
Plus, he has a
worst
couple
board.
of backdoor draws
Backdoor
working
flush
for him.
draw with bottom
A pair is going to be the best hand most of
Fine
the
to
time.
check call here if he does bet. Yeah, there you go.
He checks the action, and Roger Sipple bets 175,000.
Call
We've
that
got the
shit.
perfect hand to check call with.
O'Dwyer does call. And just to annoy Joe, I'm going to say that Steve has improved to 2 pair.
Technically, you are not wrong. And we are hoping Roger checks behind, but it
That's
doesn't look like he's
interesting.
gonna.
Yeah,
Why
it
does he
looks like
look so-
another
Why does he look so like nervous here?
bet's coming.
But the way he's looking so concerned makes me think he could have a monster here.
Yeah, I agree with the
550,000.
commentator. What I don't. That's really weird. Like, who does that?
Steve's probably gonna
You
call
don't
again.
when you're a poker pro at a tournament, you don't do that on purpose.
There is a pretty small
That's really
range of
weird.
hands Roger could have that are value hands.
Steve does call. And we have a pot of 1.68 million.
550. Wow, that's
the way
that's
he's
a
looking
pot-sized
so
bet,
and-
basically.
Points for a third time.
Pretty passive line.
I'm all in.
And
Now he
Roger shoves for
overbets,
2 points.
shoves. Okay, okay. I'm gonna be honest. I think I think he has to have it here, right? There's no way he actually was actually nervous, like when he did that thing where he puts his hand on his head, and like he was in the blind and he checked back. So there's a lot of hands that could be in his range that like that fits this board perfectly, like an 8, 5-7 for the straight, fucking 10s. Was he maybe no? There's no way he would bet 10-7 on the flop there. 5-7, 9-8, 8-6 full house maybe. I don't know. I feel like you can't really call here.
2 million.
He bet pot and then overbet shove.
It's an
I-
overbet.
I don't think he's bluffing.
How does Steve O'Dwyer respond to this?
I think you should just.
I'm
fold.
going to remind everyone, monster is what I think Roger has here.
I
He is
agree.
repping
I
a
think he has
very
a
narrow
monster.
range, but I think he's got it this time. How often is he bluffing here?
Hero call.
He calls. Wow.
Wow.
Got him.
Full house.
That
yeah, that
is
makes
a
sense.
monster.
Yeah, that just makes sense.
Can't be the full house.
That just makes sense. He
I
could
was
easily be
hoping you
carrying
couldn't
an
beat
8
a full
there. He
house.
could definitely be
Can't be much of anything. So.
like an 8 is like the worst hand he has there. Like, to be honest.
On this hand, we're going to go in the tank with Daniel. We'll only see his
line
hole
just makes
cards, which
sense.
are 7-5. He's called. Phil, who now has a ridiculous chip lead, calls out of the small blind.
Interesting limp by us like verbal Kint. Hopefully we'll get away with it. Like verbal Kint.
Maria has checked her option. We're going 3-way to the flop. Queen 6-4.
Straight draw.
Up and down straight draw for Daniel.
That's about as good a flop as we could hope for. Plus, we're Daniel. We're gonna get there.
Wow, Phil leads out already.
Phil bets out. Maria folds.
She folded mid pair. Wow, that's pretty tight.
I like calling here. Sometimes Phil will give up and we can steal it. Sometimes we'll hit our hand.
Daniel does call. The turn card is a 7.
Okay.
Second pair for
that's
Daniel to
nice.
go with that straight draw. Phil
I would
checks.
just check back and then call. whatever
I
he
think
puts
we
on
should
river.
probably just check. I think we should probably just bet. I meant to say bet.
Daniel does
No, I
bet.
don't think I agree with that play.
And what's Phil thinking?
Then again,
He's
I'm
thinking,
not the
what's
most
this guy
aggressive
got?
player.
What's this guy over here got? What does he got me beat?
Oh, Phil's check raised.
Check raise.
And that's why I was going to opt for a check there.
I feel like that you don't.
We
get
can't
there
really
'cause
fold
you're
this, I don't think. The problem is if we can and don't improve when we face Phil's bet on the river, we'll be in a real spot.
What's your
Time
stack?
ticking
1,000?
away for Daniel. 10 seconds left to make a
110
decision.
more.
He elects to call.
No, it doesn't win.
Like there was ever any doubt what Daniel was going to do.
I'm not
The
sure
river
you should
card
win
is the
it.
7 of
Okay,
hearts.
that's a
Trips
weird
for
one.
Daniel,
That's an
but it
interesting
does
one.
put
You
a
have
potential
tripped out, but your opponent has a
flush out there.
Well, what was I thinking? We're Daniel Negreanu. We're Kid Poker. Documentary coming soon. Of course we're going to improve. The problem is that Phil could have been raising us on the turn with a flush draw.
Phil could definitely have a flush.
Easily.
Here, maybe even have a full house.
10 seconds.
Fours, sixes,
5 seconds.
flush.
And there's a bet from Phil.
Shit, I think he's got the flush.
Last time we played against Phil, I was dead certain
he's
we
got
should
full
call,
houses.
and I was dead wrong. In this spot, I think he's going to have us
I think
beat a
he
lot.
Checks. No, he's got to have a wait. No, he's got to have a full house here. Wait, no, he check raised the turn. I feel like I'm not sure if Phil does have a flush draw.
Well, I got one-legged laundry clerk. I am leaning toward a fold.
Block the. You block this suit connector.
Daniel is down to 10 seconds.
I need a time.
He plays a time bank chip.
Now I
The
think
one
he has
thing
a
we
full
got going
house.
for us is that I don't think Phil expects us to have a
no, I
7
think he
very
has full
often.
house
He
now.
could be trying to bluff us off a worse
But, like,
hand.
you were just your line was kind of weak. He might not. He might think that like you have. I'm not sure. Wait, this one's really confusing.
But Phil,
Because like I said, were you underwrapping hand? You did call on the turn. What would he be betting out with after you called the turn? I can't wrap my head around this. Wow. Yeah, I see why.
Phil
Dan's
knows
taking
how
a long
much-
time. This is really fucking confusing.
Daniel loves to call, and Daniel knows Phil knows that.
I think I'm just gonna have to put him on like fours or sixes, maybe.
I just feel like you have full house.
Yeah, I agree.
You got queen 7.
Queen seven.
This is basically old poison.
Queen seven. That's a really. I guess Queen seven makes sense, but it's very rare for Phil to have a hand like that.
And wine routine.
Wow. I'm not sure. I don't think he's bluffing.
I don't think I can fold it.
Daniel calls.
Ace queen.
That's most of his stack.
Phil
Wow.
claims to have ace.
Wow. Okay. So we were right on every hand, I guess, or I don't know, maybe right on this one, except the last one. Ugh. Maybe I'm not as good at poker as I thought I was. Anyways, Jesus Christ, yeah, Phil is a really it's hard. Phil Ivey is just too good, bro. Yeah.
Queen, but he
That's a really tough one.
doesn't.
Um,
He was bluffing with jack.
I don't know. I feel like if you're more a casual viewer, you're just like, oh, I have chips. I gotta call. A lot of people are like that. And if you are really like that, you are going to get milk dry at casinos. The sharks will eat you alive. I'll just tell you that.
8.
Ivy's fallen victim to one of the classic blunders.
Ace queen, huh? Okay.
Oh my gosh.
This
Well,
is Ivy style.
that was a
ace.
very good bluff. That was a very good bluff from Ivy, though. Neil's hand, I guess he was like just trying to protect. It was just a protection bet, but to be honest, I feel like I do know Neil's a little bit aggressive, but yeah, I feel like a lot of the times there maybe you just see check back. I don't know, or like check bet because checking on the river does make you seem pretty. I don't know. Overall, that first hand was interesting, especially with the fact that they had the same hand. Besides that, everything else was like I feel like this one was pretty obvious. He had the nut flush. This one was just a really standard hand, to be honest. And this one you kind of just had to put him on the. I don't know. I just knew he had some insane fucking hand because like that board matches someone's big like just check back but bind range by like a lot. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed the analysis. It's going to sign out. Peace.